actually seen a dermatologist really regularly. Melanoma runs in my family, and I was terrified of getting melanoma. And in 2011, I was seeing a newer dermatologist, and she missed a mole on the top of my head that I later found myself. And when it was removed, ultimately, it was melanoma. And that was the day I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. It's a surreal moment. You don't believe that this is happening to you. I grew up in eastern Colorado. I was probably out in the sun a lot because we were on a farm and we just did tons of things outside just all the time. And I know that we did use sunscreen, and yeah, I was careful about it. I do look back, however, on my first year of college, and this is the early 90s, and it was a great idea to go to a tanning bed because you can get a base tan. Yeah, so when I was diagnosed in 2013, there was not nearly the options we have now. When I was first diagnosed, I was actually treated with inpatient biochemotherapy. So within 12 days of that very first infusion, the node on my neck was gone. And then I was good for almost 5 years. We thought I was cured. And so in March of 22, I was diagnosed with stage 4. It was in my lungs. At that point, it was small, but it was there. Yeah, that was a bad day. Just trying to figure out what to do at this point. And that's when I started looking at clinical trials. And you just keep praying that this next one's gonna be it. This is gonna be it. What keeps me going? That this is gonna be over. Someday, I'm gonna be cured. That belief and that trust not only comes from myself, it comes from my support team, which is just amazing. So advice I would give to anyone, not just newly diagnosed, but anybody, is first of all, don't ever give up. And secondly, don't be afraid of clinical trials. Clinical trials are amazing, and it is where you are going to get access to drugs way before it's FDA approved, and those drugs that you're going to get access to could be a cure. And I'm hoping to be one of those patients that finds a cure.
I was in Belize with my wife for our 30th anniversary, and she was actually applying sunscreen to my back and noticed under my right shoulder blade a little pinhead dot that she felt was unusual in its appearance. When I came home, for whatever reason, I did reach out to my dermatologist. I went in, that little dot was removed for a biopsy, as well as some other areas, and when they contacted me, they let me know that I had stage 1 melanoma and that I would not need any chemo or radiation, but we needed to do a surgical excision of the area. So we did that. All the margins were clear. I dodged a bullet, thank your wife, she saved your life. Then in the early winter of 2022, I began to have these odd facial tremors. We did identify I had 2 large lesions in my right frontal lobe. So when I first heard, you're certainly just shocked by the words coming out of the person's mouth. I might have 2 years left to live. How am I going to reorganize my life? How am I going to take care of the people I'm responsible for? I began dual immunotherapy with my medical oncologist. And then in early April, I got the great news that I have no active cancer anywhere in my body. Will be just scanning my brain every 8 weeks for the rest of my life. Because I felt so fortunate and I had interacted with such amazing people, I really wanted to pay forward the good fortune and journey that I had been on and received. So when I asked important people in that journey who they felt was I should spend time with and volunteer with and help in any way, everyone said the Melanoma Research Foundation would be a very good place to begin that process. I'm extremely hopeful for the future of melanoma and potential cure. I think the technology is so exciting. There are just brilliant people that are driven by incredible purpose. And every single day there's a possibility that what was impossible the minute before just became possible because of one of those brilliant people.
Well, all my life I've had moles, and so I've started from a young age getting moles checked, but this one was unusual, and yes, it was melanoma. It's the first one I had had. So I was blaming myself for all those years of not using sunscreen and just being pretty lax about taking care of, but I was glad that I had noticed it. And then I continued my every 6-month dermatologist appointments faithfully, and that's when Amber found another one that looked very atypical, didn't look like one, but she biopsied, and that was the one that was invasive. And that was the worst one out of all of them I'd ever had. So it has been 11 months since my last melanoma. Every time she goes, I don't see anything, we get up, we give each other a hug, and we just about dance. Pay attention to your body, and even if you don't have freckles, it's a good idea to be seen by a dermatologist yearly. Melanomas can be found anywhere. Don't let it go. Just don't blow it off. It has to be a thorough exam. Even in my darkest hours, I could go to that very dark place, and I did a couple times, but I was able to dig myself out right away, and with the support of the medical team, they kept me going and reassuring me that I'm doing well and will continue to be vigilant with my care. I have gone to the Melanoma Research Foundation website to read up on the different types of therapy if I would need to pursue more, and realize all the trial test drugs they have to help. And it helped me to realize if I did need more, to not give up, that there were a lot of ways that could be treated.